Greetings and salutations. This is Jason Silverain, and today I'm taking a look at Neodori Forever. Now, this is a bit of a Marmite game. The reviews have been relatively mixed. I mean, looking at it, it is a massive callback to those old days of N64, early PlayStation. Things are a bit crude. I mean, to me, it looks very DOS, and honestly, personally, I've been enjoying this game quite a bit. I'm only playing the beta version. The full version is £7.19, and this was created and developed by Strobetano and published by Crescent Moon Games. There's 3 main modes in it. I only have access to the simple race, which is get to the end of the track. It's a little bit of a time trial. There's no actual time, but you have fuel, which is also your health bar, and that goes down over time. There's the versus mode, where you're supposed to challenge rivals in a race to earn top position. Unfortunately, again, I've not managed to play that yet, so I'll have to see what other people say about that one. But it does sound more like a more traditional race. And then there's Forever mode, which is just the race mode, but you're going on forever through the procedurally generated areas. I mean, the fact that all the courses in this are randomly generated is a bit of a double-edged sword. Granted, people have said, oh no, it's repetitive and boring, and I'm like, well, that kind of is... well, it's a road. You can't really do that much with a road, can you? Especially when it's supposed to be street racing. But it does mean that you can't really learn tracks. I've been enjoying it, personally. But there has been times where I've been absolutely screwed by some of the tracks being made. Now, there's over 25 cars, but only thing they affect are visuals, and a nice pleasant surprise is they actually changed the car that you're hanging out by in the intro. This is the one I just unlocked. And there's 11 different environments. Now, the big critic of this game is the controls. As you can see, I don't even get an option of where I get to go. But this is... let's just have a little scroll through. And if I have a issue, it's the UI dealing with the menuing. It's clunky as hell. But this is the whole game world. And we start in the outskirts, get through the city. I haven't yet beat the city, annoyingly. And I'll tell you why in a moment. We have all these wonderful little pixel areas. The pixel art's just lovely. It's simple but concise, and I like that in my pixel art. But yes, the controller controls. Oh goodness me. I thought it was just my controller. Apparently a lot of people are having issues with this. PlayStation 4 controllers, 5 controllers don't really work well with it. I'm using my Xbox One, which if you've seen any of my other videos, you know is a little temperamental at best. I mean, I haven't used the D-pad because the analog stick is just completely foobarred with this game. Doesn't like it. I'll be bouncing off the walls left, right, and centre. Now, the drift mechanics, that is the real chunky Marmite here. That's what most people either hate or accept. And I'll show you why. You don't get to brake. You have boost, you have drift, and you have left and right. It is, in a way, calming, and I wouldn't advise it as if you wanted a proper racing game. But if you just wanted something with a little retro feel, and I'll be saying this right now, the game has been very generous with the starting area. I've had several starting areas which are so tight where you're practically forced into the wall right away. But yes, here we go. The drifting only registers how long you've been doing it and how much you're pointing. That was a particularly good drift. Normally, you are victim of vast under and oversteer, and that is where the real difficulty in the game lies, is the slightly clunky controls. And some of these corners, before you can even start the drift, I'm just going to avoid that, you'll find yourself slammed into the wall as, like, it's almost like the whole world has gone slightly on its side. I was expecting it there, to be honest, and I was a little twitchy. No, it's been relatively gentle with the turns. That's fine. This is probably one of the best runs I've had in the last hour. Oop, there we go. I just killed a man. Or a woman. I don't know who the driver was. There we go. Give me fuel. Wow, it's been exceedingly generous. Now, as you see, I was absolutely nowhere near that. I was nowhere near that at all, but... Oh, for goodness sake. And it doesn't matter. My rival come at the same time, and I just taken damage from both the police officer and the rival coming up behind me and ramming me. Where I couldn't... Oh, goodness me. Look at this. Just because of the corner, the speed... I was nowhere near either of those. Oh, this is it. This run's dead in the water now. Right on a corner. I'm drifting to go around the corner, avoid those sides, and bam. Had to take those hits. Well, no, I couldn't even get the fuel. Oh, goodness me. That went from good to bad in a blink of an eye. And that's the thing. Those alert symbols, if you're anywhere near them, they trigger. You don't even have to touch them. Whereas any of these, you have to be right on top of them. Otherwise, you do not get them. And I wouldn't be so mad if it was a bit fair and all of the pickups were like that. I mean, the coins are just there for getting more cars. And if anything... Oh God, I love seeing that. That just feels so old school to me. I mean... Oh, see. My drift didn't even start there. I'm holding down the drift button. I'm tapping it to start the drift while I'm in the center. Just to ensure that I... Come on. Too little too late with the drift there again. And this is what I'm usually having to deal with. But yes, I got a bit sidetracked. Yeah. The cornering is a bit poor, which on this kind of racer, which is almost like a racing version of a runner game. Some people accuse it of being like a mobile game or a tablet game. And I see that. But I think that's a bit of an oversimplification. Oh. But I do think it does have fake difficulty because of this. Now, I do apologise. I know I've kind of gone off on a few tangents here. Racing and talking at the same time is a little difficult at times. But yeah, that whole rival just ramming you and going, here, have some damage. That can go to hell. It feels so cheap. It would be nice if your rivals could also get knocked around, but as we've seen, they're seemingly invulnerable to that kind of thing. I've just got to stay within distance of him, and eventually he'll go, oh wait, you're keeping up with me. You're pretty damn good. You win this time. There we go. And that's that level done. Thank you very much. Now, what was I going to say? I was kind of distracted. But we're in the mountains, so let's enjoy ourselves. Yes. Yes, the pickups a bit pointless. There is no real use for the boost other than to damage yourself. Oh, I love those balloons. That is very old school, reminding me of Outrun. And a few other racing games, maybe Lotus. I think I covered that in the other days. But yeah, just get your cars. Cars don't change how you do anything. It's just all appearances. So once you've got a favourite, there's not much reason to do it, unless you want achievables. There's about 36 achievables, if I remember correctly. And I will say this: of the achievables are not hidden, and 14 of them are. All of them are fair, just finish this area achievements, which I honestly like. I have been getting a bit overwhelmed recently because I put myself a goal of trying to complete and finish off as many Steam games as possible, just fully 100% as achievements, move on. And admittedly I'm getting a bit burnt out because some people just put achievements for the sake of achievements in there, and some of them are so arbitrary and unfair that it's just, again, fake longevity in your game. I especially hate ones like when you play a game on the hardest difficulty setting, and then it goes, hey, now play it through on this harder difficulty setting that you've unlocked, which adds nothing to the game. I mean, I'm quite happy going back and playing on harder modes, but if it doesn't add anything to the game, then I'm just like, well, I've already 100%ed your game on hardest, which was a nightmare. Now you're pointing me, you want to do it on hell mode for that last achievement? Get stuffed. But that's just a pet peeve. And again, this is why I would fall on the get this on a sale. It was a 3-year project. I can see the love behind it. I can see the problems behind it. And we can just hope that the dev keeps coming back, touching it up a little bit. I mean, I'll put a link to the website of the publishers. They do have a collection of interesting little games which are worth checking out, if just for the unusualness of some of them. But I'm just going to try and finish this race. So, I hope you've all enjoyed yourself today. Again, apologies for not covering this one sooner, and I would love to see what the other modes are like. But right now, for me, this is a... I've got 20 minutes. I've got 20 minutes at lunchtime, or even less, and I just want to have a bit of fun before I've got to hop back onto work type of game. This is just a pick up, play a level or two, put it back down, or I just need to turn my brain off and be lost in the many, many tracks. And that's one thing I shouldn't mention. There's 8 tracks, and you can just select them at will. They're all pretty much bangers, apart from maybe 1 or 2, like Man of the Night instrumental. I'll keep that on. It's a bit too quiet for my liking. I thought the sound had broken when this one first started, but I'll see if I can get past the first 30 seconds as we try and finish this course.